Yes, some questions have been coming through, and you know what? We might as well go to the first one from our guy who's been around all show. We got to really hype him up, Aaron C. Aaron C. again with another $10 super chat. You're our guy, Aaron. Big shout out to you. Big salute. He said, "My last question: Book's thoughts on the NWO. Were they overrated?" Now, I think this is an interesting question because the thing is, the NWO now is over 20 something years old, right? So we have the benefit of hindsight. Were they overrated? I think that they really initiated change in professional wrestling. But now that we have that benefit of 2020 hindsight, that is, were they overrated or were they properly rated or underrated?
I think they were properly rated. I mean, the NWO, let's just think about it. Hall and Nash, with the addition of Hulk Hogan, who becomes Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
When the T-shirt was printed, they were selling like hotcakes. The Too Sweet, moniker that they had going was just something that was just over. The bad guys, being the good guys for once, the baby faces was, turn tail and run because they were getting beat up every week. It was a cult, following down there for the NWO for a minute, man, because everybody wanted to be a part of it, wanted to be around it. They were sucked in, by the allure of the NWO, and it was amazing to watch it. So overrated, I think not. Just because, man, those guys, if they would have did that thing right, the NWO, I still feel like in 2020 could have the highest T-shirt revenue if the NWO would have been done properly. But I always say there again, the NWO was something that could have killed the business as well. I thought that way. I thought, no way do the cops supposed to be running from the robbers. I just didn't think that was a good scenario that would last for a lifetime. I thought it was something that could change the landscape of the way fans watch the wrestling business, because it's always been the good guys against the bad guys. And when the bad guys start winning, the good guys always figured a way out. But in this, episode here, the good guys just kept getting beat up. So I just thought it was a great idea, but I don't think I think Kevin Nash had the wherewithal to come up with something and put a sticker name on it and try to create it. But the rest of those guys, not taking anything away from Scott Hall, cool, that's my people, but he wasn't. He was the guy that was the muscle behind the machine. Eric Bischoff, I didn't think he was the guy to come up with that great idea. I always say somebody slipped on a banana peel, and it turned out to be something really, really great. That's the way I always thought the NWO came apart.
So I definitely agree with a lot of that. And Aaron just sent in another question about the NWO, and we'll get to it after I ask you this. What was the reaction though backstage when NWO started to have their own show, like their own pay-per-view? Like, we're gonna do NWO sold out. And then I remember WCW used to sell these little VHS tapes that they would do on certain guys, right? They did like a little mini documentary about Macho Man Randy Savage. They did one about Goldberg. They did one about Sting or whatever. And the branding on it wasn't WCW Presents or anything. It was WCW NWO, right? I mean, that was how they were branding the company, as if it really were two different things. What was the reaction backstage? Did y'all think that this was a step in the right direction or the wrong direction when they started to do those NWO only shows?
You know what, man? I never really paid any attention to it because it had nothing to do with my bottom line. And so
I feel that.
No, I'm serious. I say, man, these guys come in, they negotiate their contract. I'm learning. I'm figuring this thing out as I go. But I never looked at it any other way than, man, these guys, they're getting over like Rover, bro. They got to be getting paid. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out how can I, finagle my way around some of that. They asked me to be a part of the NWO, and but I was like, nah, I'm a solo act, man. I just didn't want to be a part of a group. And by the time they asked me to be in it, I guess it was about I don't know, maybe 6 people in it, maybe 5 or 6 people
That'd have
already.
been the time to get in.
Well, it would have been the time to get in, but it was only going to go downhill from there. And
Right.
I didn't have hindsight or anything. I didn't know it was going to grow to be something like that. But I just knew if I joined the NWO, we did, an abundance of house shows back then. Every weekend, we were on the road a lot of times, and I just felt like I would have been the NWO representative for the house shows.
Yeah. Aaron C coming in with more. First of all, he said we want Nate Diaz. I live in Stockton. He also said, "Hey, Book, my girlfriend doesn't believe I'm talking to you." But his last question was, Book, who was better, the NWO or D Generation X?
Man, that's really, really a hard question, man, because DX did, they sold a lot of merch, man. They did a lot, for the company, as well as, get the people on the ride at that time, because there again, man, it was a war. It was a war going on. So DX did more than the NWO, especially from a longevity perspective, from a I wouldn't necessarily say a fan base perspective, because that T-shirt NWO,
Right.
I see it on everything.
I think DX, though, they elevated more people who were in the group, right? I think that Billy Gunn, Triple H to an extent, Road Dogg, X Pac.
But to go back to my point, DX didn't become an army. They were a faction. NWO became an army of guys that,
Good
a
point.
whole lot of guys didn't think were top guys. They had a bunch of guys that were in there that they just started filling spots. And then it got so big, it became NWO black and white, NWO red and black. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? They all had the same music. It was bound for disaster as far as that group went. But that's what DX, if NWO would have been like DX and had their, their 5 members, Conan, X-Pac, maybe Scott Norton for the muscle.
Right.
But when it started, expanding to, it had to be at least 30 guys in the NWO.
Oh, yeah, easily. Like I distinctly remember a shot on Monday Nitro where 3 limos pulled up. 3 in the backstage shot, and they were all in the NWO. Every one of them. It was crazy. You know what I mean? And then he had the NWO, the LWO, the Wolf Pack, the NWO Silver.
They had at least 30 guys in the NWO. And I was like, man, thanks, but no thanks, man. I'm glad. It was a great move for me, not ever being part of the NWO, actually, because I don't think I would have been getting any of the merch. I would have just been a part of the group. And it only been 3 guys getting real big checks, so I'm glad I cashed out on that one.
Nah, it worked out. We actually don't have time to get to any other questions. We're almost rolled out of here. But again, to my point, DX, I think, I was more of a WWE guy coming up, I will admit that. But I think that DX helped elevate those guys, and I think that your point was right, because there was only so few of them. You looked at them like they were bigger stars. Right. Like I said, X-Pac, Billy, Road Dogg, China, Triple H on the way up. So it all helped. Aaron C again said,
man, big shout out. Big shout out to Aaron, man. Coming from the 5-time champ. Hey, bro, we appreciate you, man. Everybody out there, man. Just like Aaron C, man, help us out, man, to keep this thing moving, making it bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what
we're trying to get 400,000. We're almost there.
Yeah, we're so close to 400,000, man. I mean, what we need? What, 19,000?
Yeah, I think we need like 19. No, yeah, we need 18,500.
18,500 for our channel, man, our YouTube channel. So, guys, we appreciate y'all for sticking out, hanging out inside the Hall of Fame on a weekly. We'll be back Wednesday night, guys, and we got something special. I don't want to reveal it just yet, but we will reveal it sometime, probably about 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. But we got something special, big interview that's going down inside the Hall of Fame, guys. You do not want to miss out. Don't get shut up.